Tell us, so what's going on? Like, are they still, but they're still doing the pod?
They're still doing the pod, man.
That's
you know,
fire,
they got some different monetization strategies. You know,
what else are they working on? What's their different monetization strategies?
what's up with y'all, man?
Yo, what's their different monetization strategies?
Nah, hold on, man. I don't like how y'all. I feel like y'all been. You
brought them up. I ain't bring them up. You brought them up. Don't be upset at us for you bring
like
up.
Y'all praying on my man's downfall.
Praying on downfall? You asked me if we watched their podcast. I'm a 40-year-old man who's happy. Why would I watch that podcast?
We're all married, bro. We're all married.
Here.
Go to youtube.com, type in Fresh
Why
and
you
Fit,
see this, my guys,
and
right now?
scroll to the bottom of the
Why y'all dissing my
and
guys?
give them a couple bucks, yo. Give Fresh and Fit a couple bucks.
So a few months ago, we made a video covering the whole drama that happened back when Andrew Schulz had the guys from Fresh and Fit on the Flagrant podcast, and things didn't go so well. In fact, things went so bad and got so heated that Andrew Schulz gave them the option for them to not release the podcast episode because he thought they would look bad. Obviously, they did release the episode, which ended up causing a huge fallout between the Flagrant podcast and the Fresh and Fit podcast. Because once that episode was uploaded, they made it very clear that they were not happy with how Andrew Schulz treated them and how they felt they were ambushed and set up to make them look bad. And although this happened a while back, just yesterday, Andrew Schulz had a 4-hour podcast with DJ Academics, and at some point, they brought up Fresh and Fit, and Andrew Schulz's reaction was pretty hilarious. He decided to go in on them and make fun of their recent downfall, which was pretty ruthless, and that actually led to a pretty heated exchange between Andrew Schulz and Myron on Twitter or X, which makes this a lot more interesting. So let's get started.
Nah, I like Vlad, bro.
You pin a case on you too.
Axe mad at me.
Why's Axe mad at you?
I ain't gonna lie, my man's from Fresh and Fit was like, yo, damn, yo, that dude still hating on us, man.
Wait, what's up with Fresh and Fit? Are they still doing
chilling.
it?
They cooling.
But are they still doing the pod?
Yeah, of course, you mean they're still doing it. You not watching?
I didn't know that they're still doing the pod.
Where can
What, you
you
think
watch?
they died?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
They got demonetized, you know, it was a minor setback for a major comeback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, don't laugh like that. That was disrespectful.
No, but tell us, so what's going on? Like, are they still, but they're still doing the pod?
They're still doing the pod, man.
That's
you know,
fire,
they
bro.
got some different monetization strategies. You know,
what else are they working on? What's their different monetization strategies?
what's up with y'all, man?
Yo, what's their different monetization strategies?
Nah, hold on, man. I don't like how y'all. I feel like y'all been.
You brought them up. I ain't bring them up. You brought them up. Don't be upset at us for shit you bring
like
up.
Y'all praying on my man's downfall.
Praying on downfall? You asked me if we watched their podcast. I'm a 40-year-old man who's happy. Why would I watch that podcast?
We're all married, bro. We're all married.
Now, I'm pretty sure that Andrew Schulz knew exactly what happened to the Fresh and Fit YouTube channel because he usually keeps up with current events and things that happen on YouTube. And Fresh and Fit getting demonetized was a massive news back then. So I think it was more of a troll to DJ Academics, essentially making him spell out what happened to Fresh and Fit and giving everybody the chance to laugh at them. Because you could tell that he wasn't in on the joke at first and was even confused by everybody's reaction to Fresh and Fit's downfall and potential comeback, which I guess it makes sense because keep in mind that back then when Andrew Schulz and DJ Academics had that podcast talking about the whole situation, Andrew Schulz did make it sound like him and Fresh and Fit were completely cool and there was no beef between them. So if that was true, maybe there's a chance that he saw their response and how they reacted after the fact and then changed his mind.
You think that I set them up? I said, I don't think that I was like, I don't think that's fair. Can I tell you something honestly about that? And this is how much I was looking out for them. I didn't want to put out the episode. I said to them, I was like, guys, I think this could make you look bad. You can have you guys back on again. We can do this again. We can have another conversation, but I don't want to take part in putting something out there where the internet is going to beat you up. That's not what this is about for me. We can have another conversation. Is there anything you want removed? They go, no, put it out in its entirety.
Let me ask you a question.
I just want to point this out. My beef is never with creators. My beef is with institutions, politicians.
Now, to be fair, Andrew Schulz has made fun and laughed at other people, including comics like Chris D'Elia when he went through his cancellation. But this one feels a little bit more personal. For example, when the whole thing went down with Steiny and the Nelk Boys unreleased episode with Andrew Schulz, which I think was a lot worse than this episode, Andrew Schulz actually addressed it on his podcast for like 15 minutes, talking about why he did what he did to Steiny and giving his reasoning behind it. But when it comes to Fresh and Fit, he doesn't really take it seriously and just kind of jokes around the entire time, sarcastically saying that he likes them and that they're great and asking his fans to donate some money to them, which is pretty wild. And it does make sense because obviously now the Flagrant podcast is on a whole nother level. It completely exploded. So if Andrew Schulz did talk about Fresh and Fit, it would be essentially free publicity for them. And keep in mind that I'm pretty sure that Andrew Schulz knows and has heard what they had to say about him and the fact that they would want to confront him if they see him in person, which is a little bit silly. So at that point, why give them any exposure on your podcast? So because of that, I wouldn't be surprised if Andrew Schulz doesn't even bring it up at all. But we'll see what happens.
No, but for real, can you still watch it? Do they have their own website, or how do you watch
It's on
the
YouTube
pod?
still. What do you think it's at?
I thought the podcast got taken off YouTube.
No, it got demonetized. That's the new way.
What does that mean?
So
Daddy
YouTube
said they can't make money.
Well, yeah, YouTube is doing this new thing, which, by the way, I'm going to be honest with you, I think a lot of people are celebrating this just because right now it's affecting people that they don't like, but it's going to affect everybody because they're using it as a tool.
Watch Fresh and Fit. How do they watch it?
On YouTube.
Go to youtube.com, type in Fresh
Why
and
you
Fit,
seeing this in my guys
and
right now?
scroll to the bottom of the
Why y'all this in my
and give them a
guys?
couple bucks, yo.
Yeah.
Give Fresh and Fit a couple bucks.
I don't think they can get donations anymore.
They can't get donations?
I don't.
Well, not through this. Wait,
Is
what's
there
up?
a PayPal or
I
something?
thought you guys were cool with
Yo,
them.
we gonna set up a GoFundMe for Fresh and Fit. We gonna set up
y'all
a
were cool with it.
GoFundMe for Fresh and Fit.
No, you never liked them from the get-one.
I had no problem with Fresh.
Nah, you hated them.
Yo, we brought them on the pod. We're fans.
You clowned the hell out of them. Or you tried to.
We gave him a fresh and fit shot.
Yeah, we did.
Yo, y'all
No,
ain't
but for real,
shit,
tell
man.
us the website where we could donate to them.
YouTube.com.
No, because they
But I don't
can't
know
get
if we could
donations.
donate
They're
that-
Oh, you gotta go to
demonetized.
Rumble.
How can we give them money?
Why you dissing them? You
How
know
can
they
we give
can't.
them money?
No, Rumble.com. Just go to Rumble.com.
And then we could give them money on Rumble?
Yeah, yeah.
So, you've been saying YouTube this whole time. They've been on Rumble.
Yeah, they're on both.
They're on both?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Why aren't you guys on Rumble?
Well, because we're not forced to be.
Yeah.
Usually you go
What's
to
going
Rumble
on?
if you're forced to be.
No. But I do think we're in the age where I think you should use all platforms.
I agree.
Now, I think we can all agree that Andrew Schulz was just kidding when he told people to donate money to Fresh and Fit. But I'm pretty sure some people probably did it, although I don't endorse doing that or, trolling people or harassing people. If somebody did donate money saying that it came from Andrew Schulz, that would explain Myron's aggressive response on Twitter. Obviously, we have no proof for that one, so it might be a reach. So what's more likely that happened is that DJ Academics called them up right after the podcast to tell them what went down and to give them a heads up that Andrew Schulz trashed them on the podcast. And that would make sense because, like I mentioned, they were close friends before, Fresh and Fit and DJ Academics. And DJ Academics did mention that Fresh and Fit told him to bring something up to Andrew Schulz and everybody while he was on the podcast. It was something about Alex Media that they thought was a slam dunk. But the fact that they, 2 years later, they're still telling DJ Academics to bring something up that they had the chance to correct when they were on the podcast just makes it seem like they were still salty about the whole situation.
There's always a black chick, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. White chicks, they always kept it P and dipped when, like, yo, hey, it ain't working, leave. Black girls, ratchet, making noise, exposing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Is your girl black? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, man. I'm the last of the Mohicans. I'm the only one still dating them.
I don't know.
Yo, oh, by the way, that's what Fresh and Fit told me.
He said, I'm the last of the Mohicans.
I know. That's
Yo, this is what Fresh and Fit told me. They was like, yo, this is the only thing
Hold
I
on,
say.
ain't the last of the Mohicans about a white guy that joins the Native American? Can't even be right about
You technical, man. All I know is
I'm the last of the Mohicans.
The real one.
all they told me that there was like, yo,
This is whiteface right here. This is whiteface.
This is
Call me Kang from now on.
yo, this is what they told me. They said, this is what Fresh and Fit told
Who
me.
said this?
Nah, Fresh and Fit. They was like, yo,
Yo, get their talking points out. All right.
no. Because
Sign up for our GoFundMe.
They were mad at you. They were like, yo,
Why mad at me? He came at them
they
harder.
said, that guy that was acting like, you know what I
got
mean?
cooked
Why
by
you
me,
don't
bro.
like black queens? We found out he don't even like black queens. His queen ain't black. I'm like, it was like, you got to bring that up.
Yeah, she's Spanish. Damn.
Have you dated black girls?
Yes, I have. And I dated white girls, and I dated even an Indian.
Really?
Yeah, never
Why you
told
point
us
over
that.
there though? Like,
And look, he did try, but there is just no way that DJ Academics is going to troll Andrew Schulz on his own podcast, especially when trying to defend Fresh and Fit. It's just not going to work. It's an uphill battle. Because if you pay attention, right before that, everybody was laughing at Andrew Schulz's jokes and even laughing with DJ Academics. But as soon as he mentions that he has something that Fresh and Fit wanted him to tell them, the whole energy just kind of shifts and changes. For a while, they wouldn't let him talk and they were just talking over him. And then finally, he got it out and he just completely bombed. Nobody had any reaction to it, no laughs, no nothing. And then Alex Media just, carried the conversation on like if it was a normal conversation. Now, to be fair, it wasn't that crazy. It wasn't that big of a slam dunk, especially because it was about Alex Media and not Andrew Schulz. And also, if they would have done a simple YouTube search, they could have found out Alex's takes on dating black women, and they could have had a lot more ammunition going into the podcast.
Now, Alex, as a black man that doesn't date black women,
I do date black women.
what is your opinion
So
on
as
this?
a black and Spanish man who has dated black women in the past.
That we just never met.
What you mean? I've been in a relationship. But
Yeah.
I think that's super corny of them to do that. But at the same time, I can understand having a type.
Ooh, go.
So it's like if you have a type and it sucks that race is part of that type.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, you like what you like.
But that's different than what was said. What was said was I don't date black women. It wasn't I have a type.
Well,
it was I have a not type.
And look, if you're the guys from Fresh and Fit and you decide to go to a podcast unprepared, especially to a podcast like Flagrant 2, how it was back in the day, then you can't really complain when it doesn't go your way because they do that to everybody. Even Brendan Schaub got called out back then when the whole Trugwell situation was going on. And once again, trying to correct the record after the fact and trying to defend yourself, it's pretty useless, especially after they were the ones that gave the green lights for them to upload that podcast episode. I mean, at least with the whole Steiny situation, he was self-aware enough to know that he got completely bodied by Andrew Schulz and didn't want that podcast to be released. And also, if you're getting destroyed by Andrew Schulz and Akash on the thing that you're supposed to be an expert on, it's not a good look. And I don't know why they did agree to still release that podcast episode. Because keep in mind that although, yes, Andrew Schulz is really good at what he does, he still has gotten exposed at times on his own show.
It is a competition thing. You're the one trying to take my glasses off, man.
Can we reframe
you hate
it?
that we're focusing
Can we
on Akash
reframe
right
it?
now. It's not about you for a second. Akash.
Okay. Anyway, so more that was good. Some more questions.
That was good.
Some more
You really
questions
got under
about
the skin
Akash.
with that.
It was good. It was good.
You really got
I
under
know
the skin.
the under the skin. No, but it was a good.
No way.
No, I admit it. If it's good, it's good. The epiphany was great. That
That's one of those.
was like a deflection, so you
I
don't
hear
have to ask Akash more questions you don't care about.
What did Emma take down your Die Hard poster? What's going on? What's going on at home, Emma?
You come in.
What's going on at home?
You come in and you tell me that you're lying about
What's
something.
going on? Are you shooting?
I need to get to the bottom
Are
of
you
it.
shooting blanks? Why are you such a grump?
Yes. How am I grumpy?
You have some rage at me, Andrew. This is a new kind of rage.
This is a good defensive strategy. Okay? Listen, it's tough
Is
being
this
a female
like the
comic.
new Adderall? Is this like the new
I
Is this
miss
a new
Adderall.
batch?
I want
feel like you
Adderall.
got a wonky batch.
No,
this
I'm on 3 Zins.
What's a Zins?
Now, of course, Whitney and Shane are actual comics and they have been doing it for a lot longer, but that actually brings us to our next point. And that is that a lot of people were pointing out that Andrew Schulz was being fake because of how he treated Fresh and Fit on their podcast, but then later on started praising and being positive or talking positively about Andrew Tate when he started blowing up on the internet, which is a fair point. But I think people are forgetting what this whole thing is all about. And it's comedy. For example, before Andrew Tate completely blew up and went all in on the red pill space, he was actually pulling it up. He was funny, and he actually went to the YMH podcast and crushed it. He was making Tom and Christina laugh. And again, comedy isn't just about saying the most offensive things and being edgy. It's about being funny and making people laugh. But when it comes to Fresh and Fit, it's a little bit different because, I mean, I'm sure they were trying to be funny with each other when the whole joke went viral and they started receiving a lot of backlash. But the way they handled it wasn't the best because they essentially doubled down and they got very serious about it instead of making it funny. And it seems like they really hadn't thought it through. They hadn't really thought it all the way through. So when they got questioned on it, they really didn't have an answer and got exposed themselves in a way. Now, to be fair, I do think that Andrew Schulz and everybody went there with a plan, with the goal to call them out and, make them look bad. Because at some point, both Akash and Alex Media forgot that they were doing a comedy podcast, and then it turned into actually confronting them. The whole vibe was a little bit off, and it felt very personal and emotional. It almost seemed like Akash and Alex were taking it way too seriously, way too personal. But hey, at least Andrew Schulz was smart enough to not go all in on them and not trash the whole Red Pill community, because he knew what was going on. He even told DJ Academics that he knew exactly how the internet would react to what happened.
This is the thing that people don't get. I know how the internet reacts. Okay. I know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. Also, when we push back to them, I understand it. I know what's gonna happen. Yeah. I know. I know how the internet works, right? Yeah. They see the views, they go, okay, I'll talk about this thing because that's gonna get me views. We do it too. Yeah. Right? But I didn't want to take part in what I knew was gonna end up being slander.
So I thought it was you who were probably having cold feet to say, hey, we brought these in to have good cop, bad cop conversation.
No, dude, there wasn't even really a conversation beforehand. I wish we had more of a conversation beforehand. But meaning like the guys. Yeah. Right? But no. I mean, they asked to come on.
And look, Fresh and Fit didn't handle it that bad. I mean, I'm actually surprised at how cool they kept it, especially with Akash and Alex Media being that aggressive. That was pretty intense, but they kept it cool and didn't do anything embarrassing or weird. I mean, they were just kind of sloppy with their answers and didn't really have great points. For example, they claimed that Andrew Schulz was fake because he removed something out of the podcast. He edited something out where apparently they made Alex Media look really bad, which even if that's true, even if they did, I mean, there's enough footage that doesn't make Fresh and Fit look good. I don't really think that matters that much. And plus, I mean, it's their podcast. They have the right to do whatever they want. I mean, it's not a debate. They can literally edit whatever they want out of it. And once again, if you're going to a podcast to defend your takes and your point of view, you better be prepared. I mean, you better know. So even if Andrew Schulz had the plan to ambush them and try to dunk on them, they should have been prepared and known better. And also keep in mind that back then, Andrew Schulz was on a TV show called The Guy Code, which was about giving guys dating advice, I believe. So there's a chance that he actually strongly disagreed with what Fresh and Fit were saying and their mentality or points of views. However, he then realized that type of content was actually gaining popularity and was here to stay. So then he just kind of accepted it, and that's why he probably started talking positively about Andrew Tate, and everybody liked him. And I was actually shocked at how fast Andrew Schulz responded to Myron on Twitter or X, and it does show that Myron is still unprepared or not putting in all the work, because if this is all real, why not do a simple search on Google, Reddit, or YouTube and try to find out better insults or I don't know, better trolling against Andrew Schulz? I mean, there's a lot out there, and the fact that he decides to clown Schulz on not having good jokes, that's not a great one. And then saying that he kisses or that he sucks up to Joe Rogan, that's also not that great. I mean, Joe Rogan is insanely huge. A lot of people, a lot of industries owe everything to Joe Rogan. So it'll be like saying, oh, you suck up to YouTube or you suck up to Spotify or whatever. They're just too big for that thing to be a negative thing. I don't know if that makes any sense. And then the whole boxing thing, I don't even think is that interesting. I mean, it'll definitely never happen. It's clearly one-sided when it comes to, who would benefit out of that. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing is wild. It happened a while back, and it's starting again right around the Christmas time, which is funny. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. Dislike if you didn't like the video. But that is all we have for today. See ya.